I know it might seem strange, but what I want to do today is to talk about divorce. Not because I'm getting a divorce, I'm not actually married and I've never been married, but I do come across this particular issue of divorce amongst my client base really rather a lot. I mean, obviously, I made a decision a while ago. I was going to try and change the message of this one particular YouTube channel more towards health, mental health, fitness, physical fitness, and nutrition, diet, and exercise at one point. But I didn't actually carry on following that through to its logical conclusion. Divorce is something which is a major stumbling point. It's a major stumbling point from a number of different perspectives, only a few of which I can possibly cover within the short duration that I'm choosing to record this one particular video. I'm sure there must be PhD theses which you can probably do on the subject of divorce and the way it affects people. From the point of view of the individual who has a relationship connection with another person who is married to somebody else, the desire for them to get divorced can in fact be incredibly strong for obvious reasons, because he or she, namely the individual, the hero or heroine in this particular story, longs for a particular result with the male or female of the other within the two people who are married. Often this is the most painful stage within an individual's relationship. The individual can hope for the future, listen to various promises which are met, have many promises being broken, and go through a lot of pain and anxiety. They speak to me often to try and get a bit more clarity about their situation and where things are actually going to go. However, when things are truly trying for the average human individual, and this is true for the vast majority of human individuals, we forget the quantity and quality of responsibility that we have, and also how on earth we are supposed to use that responsibility. Sometimes things that we already know become hidden from us, and things which are outside of our range of knowledge on the particular subject appear to be even more distant. So we need to have conversations with people who are removed from the situation purely for the purpose of jogging our mind somehow, even if the relevant subjects are not properly covered. Within the conversation, the gear wheels within the brain can still be turning to try and release a particular point of view. The desire to take action often becomes incredibly subdued within the individual who wants the other two people to get a divorce. The reasons for this can be many, varied and complex. If it is a woman who wants the relationship to occur, she may go through the period of thinking, I don't want to be a cradle snatcher. There can be a great sense of guilt, despite the fact that the individual that she may fancy, so to speak, may have actually provided her already with a promise that he was going to go for or angle for a divorce with the particular partner in question. Another point of view could be that it is his turn, that she has taken many steps to try and get some very serious results sorted out in the relationship itself, in terms of time out, time together, spending money on nice meals or events, initiating communication, doing something to make this male individual open up and be more friendly. But he, on the other hand, has done nothing. Maybe there were a few hollow promises made, so therefore that can cause frustration. Sometimes the love instinct can stop either party from making a rational decision, because sometimes love itself in a complex relationship of this type can be negative to the thought processes. We've always had those moments in our lives when we get obsessive about something to the exclusion of rationality about the subject, because humans themselves, male, female, singular, plural, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether we're young, old, rich, poor, anything. You know, we are all very irrational creatures who are driven by the way that things seem to be, rather than necessarily the way that they are. And so it's part of our morality and responsibility as a human being, in my humble opinion, and this is just my humble opinion, to try and get closer to the truth with each and every subsequent day as you move on throughout your life. But that's a bit of a digression. Within this hypothetical situation of a woman who's trying to get involved with a man who is married to somebody else, she can be put through a great deal of hardship. I think it would make a lot of sense that the males in question under these circumstances should be humane in one form or another, to be able to either turn around and say, no, this is not happening, or to be able to say, this is going to happen because I will make sure it does happen. When it's the other way around, the emotions and the instincts can get a little difficult. If it is a man who is trying to get involved with a woman who is in a relationship with somebody else or is married to somebody else, there can be territorial instincts which can flare up to the surface. There can be anger, irritation, possessiveness, because men and women deal with the issue in very different ways. I don't think it is exclusively a gender or sex related thing, but there are certain stereotypes which we do as humans seem to fulfill, taking into account our gender and our gender roles. Men can develop very singular attitudes, whereas women tend to look at the subject of divorce from a broader perspective and consider all possibilities as happening simultaneously, and that's where the anxiety on the female side of things comes from. The anxiety on the male side of things is more a question of, there is a particular result, I want to get it, and I'm not necessarily getting it. So emotionally and intellectually, it's a very serious challenge for humankind. Again, the solution starts with talking about it with someone who is removed from the situation. There's so many relationships that I've been able to help with in my time doing my job as a tarot reader that it's amazing. But it's such a complex subject. I mean, I don't know whether I should just write a book on the subject of divorce, or just write a book on the subject of marriage, or something like that, or indeed maybe one day just hold courses on how to deal with the issue of a divorce or marriage, or getting involved with someone who is married, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's tricky. We as human beings, we make it even more tricky as we sort of move away from the rational side of things, and add more problems to the mixture. Never mind. On a positive note, and I'll just end this on a positive note, and that is these intensely complex relationships can be brought to a satisfactory conclusion one way or another. But it does require work, and it does require responsibility, and in an ideal situation on both sides of things, but that can't always be orchestrated, so it has to be on the side of one particular person within the relationship situation, and that will typically be you.